I've been going through a really tough time lately. But one of the things that's been bringing me a huge amount of joy is learning. In fact, I would say up to this point, learning and improving on skills has been one of the most consistent and reliable sources of happiness in my whole adult life. Areas of my life have definitely gone in circles and even taken steps backwards at times, but I'm always moving forwards towards my dreams in at least one way: my skills. And I think that brings me a lot of comfort, especially in difficult times when I might feel lost in other areas of my life. So today I'd like to share with you the things I've been learning lately and how each of them has been making me happy. I hope this might inspire you to find some extra joy in your own lives by either learning a new skill or improving on one that you already have, because I really do think that simply learning is such a wonderful, limitless source of joy that we could all embrace in our lives. Today's big idea is simply learn and be happy. So first up is Cantonese, and this one has been such a joy, and I just want to tell you all about it. Now, the thing that makes learning a language so much fun for me is absolutely learning about the people who speak it. And I started learning Cantonese because my girlfriend is from Hong Kong. So I have been really enjoying learning about Hong Kong's history and their fascinating cultural situation due to the combined influences of British and local cultures. For me, television and movies are always a really big thing that I'm excited to dive into. And living in London has been really cool for that because I've been able to go to a screening of a recent movie called All Shall Be Well. And there was a Q&A with the director. It was so cool. And I even got to go watch a movie called The Last Dance in the cinema at a place here in London that regularly shows movies from Hong Kong. So it's been really cool to not only dive into cinema from Hong Kong, but also to actually attend these kind of events out there in real life and to see other people and their reactions and to hear what those movies mean to them and the nostalgia that it creates and just so many things that I can sort of absorb and experience myself. And one of my favorite parts of learning about a new language and the people who speak it is, without a doubt, discovering the magic of their food, which has been absolutely wonderful in the case of Hong Kong. And one of my absolute favorites is the cha chan teng, which is basically like a traditional Hong Kong diner. And I really wanted to share a little piece of that with you, as well as giving you an update on my Cantonese language progress. So I want to take you right now to one of my favorite cha chan teng here in London. 小姐，你想唔想同我去嗰個食飯啊？
好啊，
幾時啊？
而家
而家啊？
而家
哦，我都想同你去嗰個食飯。好。
好。
豬腳好食。好唔好食㗎？
好食。
你而家要唔要咖啡啊？
你要咖啡。
我要。
Yes.
你想去邊度啊？
Uniqlo. 咖啡，
冇啊，
咖啡，
冇咖啡啊！
咖啡先。
好，你知唔知 All Press 啊
What?
？All Press
Yeah.
喺嗰度，
好。
我哋
好
Oh,
好
bye bye. So I hope you loved that little adventure. I would love to take you on many more of those in the future. I wanted to share my language progress with you in the most honest way that I could. And I literally had this idea just moments before we got to the restaurant. So nothing was planned. And to be honest, those very silly mini conversations you just heard are actually a pretty perfect representation of where my Cantonese is right now. I've always said that, in my opinion, it's better to be able to say a lot of things with a little bit of language rather than being able to say very little with a lot of language in your head. With my Cantonese, I think my vocabulary is very limited. I can mostly just ask basic questions, give basic answers about simple topics like eating, drinking, coming and going, asking where something is. But within that very basic set of language, I'm actually already starting to feel quite comfortable creating my own sentences by manipulating the words, phrases, grammatical structures that I've learned and sort of stringing together smaller pieces I've practiced into longer sentences that I've never said before. And I've also become pretty skilled at being sassy in Cantonese with a very little amount of language. And that has also brought me a lot of joy. So it feels like a really exciting time for my Cantonese journey. I've actually been taking it very slowly up until this point, but I think because now I feel like I have quite a strong base, and I'm finally actually starting to put more time into Cantonese now, I'm really feeling ready to start increasing the speed of my learning, which I think is a really nice place to be. I think people often run before they can walk when learning a language. We start out full of excitement and inspiration. We put so much time into it. We're doing tons of flashcards. Like, you build up this enormous set of things you have learned in a very short time. And then it starts to feel like a leaky bucket where everything's leaking out faster than you can put new stuff in. And so my approach with Cantonese has been very different, and I think it's working really well. So yeah, learning Cantonese and really embracing learning about Hong Kong and its people, their history, their culture, their way of life, meeting some really wonderful Hong Kongers and hearing their stories. It's really brought me a lot of joy. And I think for me, this goes to the heart of what is so beautiful about learning another language. Okay, illustration. This one I am so excited to tell you about because I actually completed my first ever real illustration project. And I actually gave it to one of my favorite local small businesses as a gift. And I'm just like so excited to share this with you. You know, as someone who has always struggled to draw, I honestly never would have thought I could call myself an illustrator. And I'm not there yet, but I really believe I can do this. Like, I really think I can be an illustrator. So I want to tell you a bit more about this project while I tell you about this video's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes to choose from. I've been self-studying illustration for a while now, and I reached this moment where I was just dying to do a project. So I decided to take a class on Skillshare by one of my favorite illustrators and teachers, Sarah Beth Morgan. It's called Illustrating Characters for Animation in Adobe Photoshop. I absolutely love Sarah Beth's teaching style. It's so friendly and relaxed, and I loved how this class presented so much practical information on both character design and illustration centered around a project. She even provides a fictional client brief and takes you step by step as she completes the project herself. For me, I decided to take things a step further and actually make this project a gift for one of my favorite local small businesses here in London, a coffee shop called Running Late. This project really challenged me and forced me to face so many creative decisions and also skills that I just haven't learned yet. But it was so rewarding, and when it was done, I reached out to the coffee shop and they actually accepted it as a collaborative post on Instagram, which means now it's on their Instagram page for their customers to see, which is just so cool. And I was so proud of myself at the end. So I just want to give a huge shout out to Sarah Beth Morgan for all of her amazing classes, and a huge thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. get started today. I still can't believe I did this project, and now I'm just so excited to do more illustration work, which brings me to the next skill that I've wanted to talk to you about. So design is something I've been studying for a long time now through many different lenses. I actually started out doing graphic design many years ago, doing event flyers and things like that. Then I wrote a book, and so I taught myself how to do print and layout design and literally designed my own book. And after that, I went really deep into user interface and user experience design and designed my own app, Journally. But design is so broad and wonderful, and I just love how you can study it again and again through so many different lenses and applications, and it will feel so familiar and comforting, but yet so fresh and new, and there's still so much to learn with each new discipline within design. So for the last couple of years, I've been trying to become skilled in designing for motion and animation, and I have loved every moment of it. I could just study design all day long, and I've been putting my skills to the test in different ways by designing characters and backgrounds and scenes for my own little animation projects, which has been extremely rewarding. And I also combined my illustration and design skills to create a poster, which I plan to use in a documentary film next year. I even printed it out. It's on my wall. It is so much fun making your own art and giving it to others or keeping it for yourself. And finally, on this topic, I have some very exciting news, which is that I was just hired for my first ever freelance project from an animation studio here in London. As a designer, I never thought that my first ever freelance gig at a studio would be as a designer. And it was just a 4-day project. I helped them with a pitch they were working on, but it was so much fun. It was such an incredible learning experience. And yeah, I still can't believe I got hired as a designer. And that brings me to my last visual skill that I want to share with you, and then we'll finish up with one more language. So motion design is one of my favorite things because you can just combine so many different things that I love, and it gives me such a wonderful outlet to bring them all together. It feels like a perfect skill for someone like me who genuinely loves doing all these different things. And this video is actually a demonstration of what I've been learning. I thought it would be really fun to pretend that I was my own client and this video was the project. And my brief was basically to come up with a handful of really wholesome, delightful animations that would fit the vibe of the video and hopefully really enhance the viewing experience. So I'd love to know how I did. Please tell me in the comments, like, did you enjoy these little pieces of animation sprinkled throughout the video? Did they impact the viewing experience at all? Did it make the video slightly more visually engaging? I'd really love to know, because over the course of the rest of this year, these videos are gonna be my primary outlet for most of my art. I wanna illustrate, design, and animate so many beautiful things that I hope will actually genuinely make these videos more fun, more engaging, more impactful. And I want them to elevate the visual storytelling experience. I just can't wait to show you what I have in mind, but I would love to get your feedback as I learn and grow, and we can be on this journey together. And the last thing I want to talk to you about today that I have been learning is Dutch. It's so funny because when I moved to London, I did not have any plans to add any new languages, and I have ended up studying 2. Well, Dutch isn't exactly new, but it kind of is. I talked about this a little bit in my last video about my trip to Amsterdam, discussing whether it's worth it or not to learn a new language for a holiday. So I would love for you to check that video out if you haven't seen it already. But wow, what a joy it has been, honestly. When I first started getting back into Dutch, I thought it might just be a few weeks, just purely for fun, as a little challenge that we could do together here on YouTube and my foreign language journaling platform called Journally. Thank you to those who participated, by the way. But I've been enjoying it so much, I just decided to keep enjoying learning Dutch and learning about Dutch people and the Netherlands. And It actually happens I'm gonna go back there in July for a week, and I just cannot wait. And at the moment, I'm in this really nice rhythm where I'm studying Dutch in the morning on my walk, and then I study Cantonese in the afternoon or evening. I probably study Cantonese about twice as much as I do Dutch, because that's my priority. But yeah, it's just a really beautiful rhythm that I have right now, and it's just making me so happy. I'm in no rush with either language. It's just fun. And I think that's a really nice way to learn. Now, hand-drawn animation and drawing are the two biggest skills I have been learning in the last year or two. And it's really interesting because they were not on this list. And it's not because I'm tired of them or burned out. Frankly, I am so in love with hand-drawn 2D animation. I could just do it all day long, every single day. I love it. But these two skills, especially drawing, they are the most difficult for me. I said earlier how I have always struggled with drawing, and drawing is, quite frankly, the most essential and critical skill that you need for hand-drawn animation, especially if you're doing characters and acting. And I've just found it very difficult to balance those two skills with all these other ones. And I think becoming a truly skilled hand-drawn character animator is just a really long journey, and I'm super excited about traveling along it, and I can't wait to reach all little milestones. And I've already gotten a tremendous amount of joy from those few little, frame by frame animations I have made so far. But I think the way that I am now taking a break from those couple of skills so that I can spend some time building up these other ones that are really important to me, and I plan to sort of fit all these things together down the road. I think it's a really nice way to show you how I manage balancing learning so many skills over a long period of time. I'm not necessarily studying all of them every day or even every month, but I am very actively learning and improving all of them all the time. And that includes taking breaks, keeping things fresh, forgetting things, and then learning them back even stronger every single time. It's all part of the process for having a healthy, balanced, long, and happy life, learning lots of different things that each help me build my dreams into reality. And although there are moments when I feel a bit lost and feel like I'm behind in life, I think this video is actually really good evidence just for myself that I've really come a long way. And I'm really not that far now from finally being able to make the work that I've been dreaming about for so many years. So I would just encourage all of you, if you have dreams of doing or making stuff that feels really big, really far away, maybe you don't have a whole lot of time and you have to really take it slow, it's super worthwhile because I have been pursuing many of these skills for years now. And filmmaking itself, I've been doing this for so long on YouTube, and I'm only just now starting to feel like I'm close to making the work I've always dreamed about. So it is so worth it because although it can take a while, it is so much fun. And that's what I wanted to convey in this video, right? Like every little step, it can be so fun. That was my first ever illustration project. I'm still kind of a beginner, but I got creative and found a way to still make it something I was extremely excited about and extremely proud of. On the other hand as well, this whole process brings me that sort of limitless, continuous joy. And so I just really think this is a really nice representation of what it means to enjoy the process and enjoy the journey. And on that very cheesy note, which was not planned, I love you all. Thanks for watching. And please leave me a comment because they make me really happy. And I miss you guys. Bye. 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 Bye.